He rejected the child because it was a girl, and this happened. Hassan was a serene village nestled in the heart of Igbo land, surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests. The people of Asa lived simple, harmonious lives, rooted deeply in tradition. For them, family was everything, and a man's legacy depended on the sons he raised to carry on his name. Okeke was one of the wealthiest farmers in Asa, known for his vast yam field and imposing presence, a tall man with sharp figures and a booming voice. Okeke prided himself on his adherence to tradition. To him, the birth of a son was not just a blessing, but a necessity, as an assurance that his lineage will continue. His wife, Ifoma, was the village beloved. Known for her kind heart and gentle nature, Ifoma balanced Okeke's thin personality with her warmth and optimism. After 3 years of marriage, when Ifoma became pregnant, Okeke was overjoyed. He made no secrets of his expectations, boasting to friends about the son he was certain was on the way. Ifoma, however, prayed silently each night for a healthy child, whether boy or girl. The labor began on a warm afternoon during planting season. The women of Asa gathered in Okeke's compound. Their songs of encouragement echoed through the village. Inside the hut, Mama Nkechi, the skilled midwife, worked tirelessly to help Ifoma deliver. After hours of effort, the cry of a newborn filled the air. The women outside cheered, but their excitement faded when Mama Nkechi stepped out and announced, "It is a girl." Okeke, who had been pacing outside, froze. He turned to Mama Nkechi. His face hardened. "A girl?" he asked, his voice sharp with disbelief. "Yes," Mama Nkechi said firmly. "She is healthy and strong." Okeke's joy dissolved. Without a word, he turned and walked away, ignoring the murmurs of the women and the cries of his newborn daughter. Inside the hut, Ifoma cuddled her baby, tears streaming down her face. She had seen the disappointment in Okeke's eyes, but as she gazed at her daughter's innocent face, she whispered, "Your name will be Ike Dilim, which means my own will remain with me. No matter what your father thinks, you are mine, and I will love you always." From that moment, Ifoma resolved to protect and cherish her daughter, even if Okeke refused to. As Ike Nilim grew, the tension in the household became more pronounced. While Ifoma poured her love and attention into her daughter, Okeke kept his distance. He rarely spoke to Ikem and treated her with indifference. By the time Ikem was 4, she began to notice her father's coldness. One evening, as the family sat by the fire eating roasted yam, she looked up at him and asked, "Papa, why don't you ever smile at me?" Okeke's hand froze mid-air, his eyes unreadable. "Eat your food," he muttered, avoiding her gaze. Tears welled in Ikem's eyes, but Ifoma quickly pulled her close. "Don't mind your papa," she said gently. "You are loved, my Ikem." Still, Ikem couldn't shake the longing for her father's affection. She would watch him from afar as he walked in the field, silently hoping he would one day notice her. When Ikem was 7, Hassan experienced a devastating drought. The stream dried up, the crop withered, and the hunger became a daily struggle. Okeke's once thriving yam farm turned to dust, and his barns, which had been filled with surplus, now stood nearly empty. The drought tested the resilience of every villager, but it hit Okeke particularly hard. He worked tirelessly, trying to salvage what he could, but his efforts were in vain. One evening, as Okeke sat under the mango tree in the compound, staring at the cracked air, Ikem approached him. She carried a small calabash filled with water she had fetched from the distant stream. "Papa," she said softly, holding the calabash out to him, "I brought this for you. You look thirsty." Okeke gazed at her, his face a mixture of weariness and pride. He refused to show. "I don't need your help," he said, waving her away. Ikem's small shoulder slumped, but she placed the calabash beside him and walked away silently. Determined to help her family during the drought, Ikem began venturing into the forest every day, searching for wild food nuts and mushrooms. One fateful evening, she didn't return home. Ifeoma worry turned to panic as the sun set. She began and ran to Okeke, her voice trembling. "Ikem has not come back. You must find her, Okeke." Okeke hesitated at first, his pride warring with his growing fear. But as Ifeoma's words sank in, he grabbed a lantern and set out into the forest, his heart pounding with worry. The forest was dark and filled with shadows. It's usually quiet at night. Okeke called out Ikem's name, his voice echoing through the trees. As he searched, memory of his daughter flooded his mind. The way she had tried to please him, her laughter, her quiet resilience. After hours of searching, he finally found her under a large tree with a basket of white fruits. Her face was pale, her lips dry, but when she saw him, she managed a weak smile. "Papa," she whispered, "I found food for us." Okeke's heart broke. He dropped to his knees and gathered her into his arms, holding her tightly. "Ikem, my child," with tears streaming down his face. "I was blind. You are my blessings. Forgive me." From that day, everything changed. Okeke embraced Ikem with all his heart, teaching her the ways of farming and the wisdom of their ancestors. He marveled at her intelligence, resilience, and compassion, finally understanding that his child's worth lies not in their gender, but in their character. Ikem thrived under her father's newfound love and guidance. As she grew older, she introduced innovative farming techniques she had learned from elders, bringing prosperity back to her land. One evening, as the family sat under the stars, Okeke turned to Ikem and said, "Ikendilim, you are my pride. I was foolish before, but you have shown me the meaning of true love and strength." Ikem smiled, placing her hands on him. "Papa, I have always loved you. I am glad you finally see it." And under the vast Igbo sky, surrounded by love, Okeke felt a peace he had never known. Lessons from this story. Regardless the gender of a child, always know that a child is a gift to you and your family, given by God for you to nurture and take care of. For more videos, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.